Welcome, boys. Okay, in this video, we're just going to be doing an update on the Beetle. What we've done to it off camera since the last Beetle video, I believe, was some engine removal and/or the pulley installation. So we'll go over what we've done to it off camera, because over the winter, we just did a bunch of garage stuff to it, and I didn't bother filming it. I had limited time to work on it because of all the overtime I was working. And I was tired, and I had to get things done. Didn't have time to film. So, as you see, the engine is back in it. And we got our new heat risers installed. I also wrapped the heat riser tube where the exhaust goes through with some exhaust tape, I guess. Some of the stuff that people put on their headers. I do need to add some wire loom to kind of clean this up a little bit. But the primary reason for me adding that was so the wires wouldn't get burned or anything, because this thing gets hot. And it's got to transfer the heat from the exhaust up through here, and then it acts as a heat sink essentially for the throat of this carburetor. So that way, as the fuel is getting sprayed down in here and it atomizes, it doesn't start icing up, because that's what it was doing, but not anymore. So we did get that taken care of. It no longer ices up. We have our new distributor, since we broke the old one upon removal of the engine. We have added a smaller crank pulley that's aluminum, and I added a new pulley here for the alternator that's nice and shiny. You had to get a smaller belt for that to work. Put a new carburetor on it as well. So now I have two spare carburetors. The one that was on the car, made by OE brand, and I think EMPI is the other carburetor I have. I'll probably rebuild that one, since I know the OE brand was still working. It's unknown how the EMPI brand is. But I might as well rebuild them both and save them for a rainy day. One thing I couldn't get right is when the new carburetor was on. This thing was never plugged in. It's some sort of solenoid. And when I put the new carburetor on, this thing would not idle. It just kept stalling out and dying. Well, what I did was I took this is actually the one from the old carburetor. When I pulled this solenoid out, I noticed the plunger was missing, but it wasn't missing on the new one. So without this thing being energized, the plunger would never open and allow the fuel in to idle. So I put the old one in, which had the plunger removed, so now it's essentially bypassed and we don't have them problems anymore. But she's all good now. I have tuned the carburetor, adjusted the timing. She runs great. I've been driving her to and from work a lot on the nice days. We got the new exhaust tips on our muffler. New hardware, clamps, all that stuff down there. So that's looking good. Put these new louvers on, looking sharp. And later on today, I am going to replace the taillights. I'm going to add some underglow along with some engine glow, so that inside there will glow at night. And one of the other Beetle guys I know, my sister's neighbor, this is a 57, he's got some bomb-ass lights that he has in his little grill up here. His vents up there, I guess, rather. And I might add some in there, too, for some extra glowing. I still have to add the pop-out windows that I have. These are still the original ones. We haven't gotten around to putting the new ones in. We did get the new mirrors on. Got the new running boards on. We got new clips underneath for that chrome. I now have matching carpet, so we always had the tweed door panels, but I have two sets of spares that are black. Now we have all new carpet in here that matches. Have the shift knob from my sister's car. They put like a pearl white one on there. So they gave me their old shifter. That steering wheel is the same that came with the car. I do still have the factory one, though. I haven't put the new dash in yet or the new stereo. I also figured out this back seat folds down. I did not know it even did that. But it does. And we put I put the new back seat belts on. The new front ones came in. I gotta put those on. We got the new carpet back here. I still need to put. Let's see if I can fold this down. Let's see. There's a strap around here somewhere. Okay. We got all new carpet there. Now, Steve put some spare carpet he had left over from his boat, which is kind of gray and kind of matches, before he realized I actually have this piece. So, but we do have new speakers back here that weren't there before, and you may remember I had like a big shelf thing back here that had two 6x9s. That's gone now, so now I get some storage space back here. And I think today we're also going to put that other carpet back in there. The correct carpet. And then the new seat belts for the front. Fun fact, I had other seat belts for it, but at least now I paid for some ones that'll match. The back one's the Wolfsburg edition. So those will match up in the front now anyway, but it was an expensive lesson learned. Apparently if you let the seatbelt retract all the way, you can't pull it back out again. So don't ever let it do that. I also added this emblem here, because the OG Beetles come with that. Mine did not. None of the 70s ones do. I think maybe the old Super Beetles, before they put the curved windshield in. You get one with the flat windshield and the old school dash. I do believe that those Super Beetles still have that emblem there. But I added one. The one my sister has one too, but hers is, I think, a little bit lower. I made mine kind of high. And I will tell you, the bottom deal, that one was easy to fix. The other ones are like up in this little grill thing, and I had to stick a wrench in there, and then I had to turn it barely like 1/16 of a turn at a time. Turn the wrench, flip it, turn the wrench, flip it. Man, that took forever to tighten those down. So I should have went lower like she did, but I thought it would be cooler up top. We have this new piece of particle board, cardboard, something like that, up in there. Also added a strut bar, as you can see. Strut tower brace. I would like to get some carpet, though, like my sister has on there as well. We also replaced the fuel sending unit. I replaced all the fuel lines underneath. I replaced the gas cap, so it locks now, so people can't just steal my fuel. I already mentioned the mirrors that we replaced, because they were pitted. I replaced the rear shocks, even though the old shocks were actually fine. Letting the old heat riser soak to kind of break up some of that carbon chemically. Eventually I'll clean that out, and if mine ever clogs up, I can just swap the heat riser out. I don't have to do any of that fabricating stuff. I do have front shocks that are adjustable. I haven't put those on yet. And that way I can lower the car if I want in the front and lower it in the back. So we shall see about that. And Eddie's making noises. I guess we'll let him. Come on, Ed. You making noises? Or are you fighting with Kitty Kitty? Well, maybe I was hallucinating. And I guess that's about it. Really, the carpet took a long time, so that was like an entire day. And doing all the engine stuff, that took a hot minute. Of course, again, I kept getting ill and not feeling so good. But I'll tell you what, this garage makes a world of difference. It'll be even better once I get that tool room built off the back of here. And I get all these building materials out of here and I'll have more room. And this thing makes a big difference too, able to heat this garage. I could heat this thing up to like 100 degrees. Which also, fun fact, if you leave this thing running for like 20 plus minutes and heat this thing up to 100 degrees, my carbon monoxide sensor never goes off. It does go off though if I start this thing up and pull it out and then close the garage door. So even though this thing runs for like less than 30 seconds in here, per Katie, the carbon monoxide detector goes off for all the way till like 9 o'clock at night usually, until like a couple hours before I come home. Then it stops. So don't work on this thing with the garage closed. I do have the car charging deal hooked up to the battery, which is under this back seat. I also have the little caps that go over the terminals so I don't short anything out on all the metal underneath the back seat and cause an electrical fire. But tonight what we are going to do is get the underglow installed, probably get that rear, or that carpet thing on that back seat put in. The new taillights in. I might do the shocks on the front, but I don't know if I'm going to do that and then lower. If I am going to lower this thing, it's only going to be like an inch or two. It's not going to be much more than that. Or any more than that, really. Because I just want it to go a little bit lower. Oh, and that rear sway bar I got a new rear sway bar that goes underneath of it. So I'm going to get that on there. That way I get a little bit more stability. And maybe in the future when these tires go bad, I might get like some low profile ones so the car sits a little lower. But I guess if I didn't want to actually lower the car any from the suspension, just getting smaller diameter tires would probably help in that, lowering it a little. And at a later date we'll do the dash installation and the new stereo, because those should just be done at the same time, I think. And I still need to get that front fan to work, because no matter when I flip the switch or not, I can't get the fan doesn't work in there, and I need to like pull the dash out to get power to this thing so I can check the wires and see if the fan's just seized up and I need to replace it, or what's going on with the wiring in there. I don't know. Oh, I think pop-out windows we might do today too, because those will be dope. And I think that's it for now on the update on the Beetle. And I don't believe I did a video on it, but I might have done a community post, as we have all new lighting in here, because originally we just had these two fluorescent lights, and they kind of suck. Now that we have two LEDs, two more LEDs, LED, LED, LED. This place is super bright now. I can do all the work in here. And it's like it's daylight out. And then I also added some in the basement too, so I can get to my parts and my tools and everything and actually see without needing a flashlight. But anyway, that's it. I don't believe I'm going to film any of that other stuff we're doing tonight either. I don't know, I might. But I feel like I'm not going to. I just still feeling ill. I really don't even want to work on it tonight, but while Steve's offering to help, I guess I'll take him up on it. So, hope you enjoyed the video, even though it was just a bunch of long-winded me talking, vlogging, if you will. So I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, boys. Peace.